Kagura Bachi is a meme and not what this video is about. If you care about manga, especially shonen, you've definitely already heard of the latest fixation on Kagura Bachi, one of 3 manga Shonen Jump decided to debut in September of 2023. And the internet took one look at the edgy swordsman and lost its goddamn mind. It's the first manga to have an anime adaptation after 1 chapter. It's got a video game out. Its Reddit page has already surpassed both Undead Unlock and Mission Yuzakura Family. Okay, that one hurt me deep in my soul. And its fans have already made multiple edits, made funnier by the fact that they have so little to work off with just 2 chapters as of time of recording. But this video isn't about the manga the internet seems determined to run into the ground before we even know what it's about beyond a revenge story with magic swords. It's about the first manga that came out in September, which I honestly think was better, but so few people are talking about it because they are too busy memeing on the guy who can actually beat Goku, totally trust me guys. And that manga is Mama Yu by Yoshihiko Hayashi. According to chapter 3, its name means Demons Heroes. I don't speak Japanese. Also, for those who are curious, the 3rd series was 2 on Ice and it was pretty good. It's a romance and the closest thing it has to physical violence is figure skating. And the only meme people are associating with it as of time of writing this script is calling it Straight on Ice. Honestly, all 3 manga are doing well for what they are. Now, this may just be me, but Mama Yu immediately reminded me of an isekai, which it kind of is, but not in the way you may imagine. I mean, the main character is dealing with the fact that he's been given the official job title of hero and has to deal with the lolly demon lord who's actually a lot older than she looks. It really does sound like the usual seasonal isekai that's twisting the genre enough to get eyes on it, but not enough to keep those eyes. But then you read it and realize that it's actually got a lot more to say. You see, our protagonist, Corleo, wasn't actually isekai'd into his world. He was born as the latest in a long line of people who've been given the title hero, indicated by a mark on his hand. But he was born right after the last hero, Halo, sacrificed his life to end the conflict between humans and demons, cementing peace throughout the world. How peaceful is it? The last demon lord, Mamama, actually raised Corleo and is basically his adoptive mom. The demon lord is also born with a mark denoting their status. Some of you may be wondering, so I'm just gonna tell you now. No, I don't know what's with these names. His hero status creates a conflict for Corleo. He's a hero in a world that doesn't need one, and he finds himself asking, what does that even mean to him? With demons and humans living in relative peace, he feels like a washed up celebrity who never even did anything to be famous in the first place. Mamama says that their titles are pointless, but he doesn't want them to be pointless because he does want to be a hero, even as he stands as the latest in a long line of big shoes to fill. You can't exactly be a hero without someone to fight, but Corleo isn't really interested in fighting demons. He was raised by one, and even the beginning of the story shows him defending one from being bullied by some humans. So even in his conflict, he doesn't really have an enemy for him to target his desire to be a hero at. And this is further complicated when a new hero shows up. Evan Allgreen, a hero from a world still at war with demons who crossed over to the current one. Remember how I said this is kind of an isekai? Although not too much detail has been gone into yet, Evan's arrival seems to signal the beginning of incursions into their world from other heroes and demons. Even with just Evan though, Corleo has to grapple with his ideas of what it truly means to be a hero, contrasting himself with someone who has actually done all the expected fighting. Corleo has never really been in a real fight though and is woefully underprepared to actually begin acting on his ideals. So I expect some training to begin as of chapter 4. Mamama is an interesting character in her own right. She knew the last hero, and she knows he died to bring peace. And that kind of led to her being overprotective of Corleo to the point of kind of belittling his concerns as not important, which creates friction between the two. She wants to protect her son, but he wants to go forward as a hero. Her and Corleo's dynamic is really interesting, and while the first 3 chapters has done a good job really digging into it, I hope it gets more focus as we go forward. The end of chapter 3 seems to imply she's taking a step back from the forefront. and I think that might be a bit of a mistake. Another thing worth noting is the art. Honestly, the art style reminds me of older manga than the more modern styles I'm used to, but that's hardly a bad thing. It gives the story a unique identity, only emphasized by the excellent layout and paneling work. The way the art is divided by the borders, as well as the use of the panel layout to frame the subjects, be it with close-ups to their face or framing their whole bodies, gives the scenes an impactful feel in order to feed into the audience's emotions. Like this scene where the dialogue bubbles talking about Corleo's eyes being set on his path begin by obscuring those eyes, before fading out to show the newfound resolve within them. My absolute favorites though are this scene of confusion where the characters realize they are being attacked, and this transition where we see a hand reach down onto the border, and the very next panel is the hand forcefully pulling the scene open to reveal this monstrosity. It gives me a lot of faith for the author's creativity and ability to portray the emotions of the scenes that I believe will translate really well into any future action beyond what we've already seen. That being said, I hope these scenes become more detailed, as while the mangaka does portray feelings pretty well, the actual action of what's going on in the story gets a little lost. Though this is kind of a result of the fact that the only real fights we see on screen are basically just one-page slaughters, so we'll just have to wait and see how they handle protracted combat. These 3 chapters make for a pretty good story in and of themselves, and a great setup for future things to come. We already know that there's a brand new hero who probably bring their own definition of heroism and strength to the table, and Corleo will have to grapple with that too. Of the 3 manga that dropped this month, I think this is the one with the most potential. Though I say this with the caveat that I am very much more of an action fan than a romance fan. People have been excessively doom posting about the state of Shonen Jump and what it's possibly going to do once all the current big titles stop being made. And just ignoring the fact that Shonen Jump does in fact have titles that are good but just aren't super popular, this batch of stories really makes me have some hope for the idea that Shonen Jump isn't just gonna crash and burn when everything's over. And people will probably move on to reading all the currently smaller series once all the currently bigger series stop being made and they have to keep reading, and then they'll find those and start talking about them. And even then, this idea that Shonen Jump is running out of series might just be an entirely Western perspective, because we're only talking about things we've seen anime being made for, like Undead Unluck, Mission Yozakura Family, Sakamoto Days, more examples. I wonder what the Japanese fans think about this idea that Shonen Jump might be running out of series. Where was I? I really hope none of these titles get cancelled. They already took Fabricant 100 from me. Oh yeah, I should get around to making a video about Fabricant 100. Between the intrigue of its world, the thematic reflections of our hero as he finds out who he is, and the magic system, which I have barely touched upon, there's a lot of ways that this could grow. And I hope we get to see what Hayashi Sensei has in store for us. Until then, leave your thoughts down in the comments below, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more content. And check out the channel for even more content. Thank you, and good day.